In 2002, developers were interested in constructing a parking and retail facility, Kent Square, named for a distant relative of Alexander Black. The proposed facility would occupy the corners of Main Street, Draper Road, and Washington Street in downtown Blacksburg. Before construction could begin, the site would need to be cleared of a service station and a home linked to the town's past. Rather than demolishing the Victorian home that stood on Main Street for many years, the developers provided an opportunity to preserve it. Blacksburg's town council stepped forward to purchase the Alexander Black house.
McCoy Funeral Home is located in the historic Alexander Black house. Alexander Black was a descendant of William Black, founder of Blacksburg. The house dates back to 1892 and is a significant historic structure. The town of Blacksburg intends to purchase the Alexander Black house and move it to across the Draper Road to be relocated next to the town-owned Thomas Connor house. This saves a significant historic structure for the town. It also is the town's intent to restore and utilize this structure.
The Alexander Black house is moving up on the hill. It will find itself in a very pleasingly natural environment with a natural neighbor, the Thomas Connor house, and it will have a commanding view of downtown Blacksburg. On the other hand, all the citizens will have a commanding view of those two historical houses.
Months before the day of the move, Alexander Black's house was again transformed. As part of the agreement the town held with the Kent Square developers, additions and exterior alterations would be dismantled, including much of the vinyl siding, the rear garages, and parts of the second level of the house. Special care was taken to protect the original structure. Openings remaining after the partial demolition were temporarily closed, and the house was braced for relocation. Day by day, the house appeared slightly different. Siding removed here, weather covering added there. Meanwhile, across Draper Road, preparations were also being made. What started off as sloping green grass next to the Thomas Connor house was going to become the new location of the Alexander Black house. In order to move the house and raise it to the proper height without damaging it, the home would require a straight path both horizontally and vertically. First, Blacksburg Public Works crews installed fencing to secure the site. Then the crews began the process of excavating the lot for the foundation. After a week of digging, this part of the job was complete. Back at the original site on Main Street, the movers were called in about a week before the big move. Expert house movers of Virginia Beach, known for their move of the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, excavated around the house and made openings in the walls of the stone foundation. The movers installed temporary supports beneath the house. A grid of beams along with two primary steel beams ensured that the house would be stable and secure throughout the move. Near the end of the week, the house was raised up from the foundation using wood cribbing and hydraulic jacks, making it easier to remove the remaining foundation. Foreman Jim Matico.
We basically have to excavate around the structure to be able to put holes in the basement walls to be able to pick it up. And this was on partial basement. We encountered some pretty big boulders underneath that presented some problems. Couldn't move them, and so once we weaved the beams around the boulders and inserted them, under the foundation, then we hooked all the steel support systems to a unified hydraulic jacking machine. And what that means is, irregardless of the weight, if you got 50 tons in one corner or 10 tons in the other corner, when you apply the pressure to the jacks with the unified machine, it'll pick it up regardless of the weight. So And then once we've picked the structure up enough to put our dollies under, then we had to put 6 special hydraulic powered dollies with a power source, which allows us to pull the house very slow and nice and easy for an old structure.